Hey, I'm Scott Allen Miller, and this is Sheepguarding Llama, it is Christmas, the 25th of December, 2019, and obviously I'm not recording this on Christmas. This is about half a week later. I'm up in Carrollton hanging out with Mia when I record this, just because there's no way to do this on Christmas. But I did get tons of videos, if you're watching the channel, posted of just little clips of like the girls opening presents and people playing games and stuff. So there's tons that I recorded on Christmas, but there's no quiet time for me to sit down and record the day, unfortunately. So I have to do that later and catch up, and that is what I'm doing now. So without further ado, we started the day decently early. The kids got up and got moving on their own. We came down and actually got started pretty early for us this year. Fewer presents than there has been in the past. Obviously, the famous Toco Christmas spread is still crazy, but not as crazy as it has been. And the presents being put out in the middle of the living room, so that there's like a present circle, and then presents kind of around the edges of the room, and then people were able to sit on the couches, and the kids were able to sit in the middle, and presents were just handed outwards. Actually worked really well, because there wasn't someone forced to run into another room, which always results in someone who's excited to do it for the first 2 rounds, and then after that is annoyed, and it's always who's being punished by being sent to the other room to find the next round of presents. That went away, and it also saved a lot of time. So you didn't have someone leaving the room who would get distracted and then not come back, and then everybody would just sit around waiting. They just kept moving, so that helped a lot. So fewer presents done in a much more logistically manageable way. That was a great combination. I'm glad that I pushed for that. So now I'm going to try to remember everything that happened. Watch the videos. There's a lot that happened. One thing I do have to note, I do have a new subscriber today, and that is my father, who finally subscribed to this channel, which is primarily made for him. So it's funny that he wasn't subscribed before. So now he's probably got an awful lot to watch. We did our regular, I skipped the breakfast, because there's nothing really that I wanted to eat. Had some coffee. Paul and I set up in the dining room because it's just so warm in the house. We couldn't handle being in the room with everybody early on. It was just too much. We kept the door open, actually, even though it was pretty chilly outside, just so that we wouldn't get overheated trying to do Christmas. Big items this year. The big one for me is Paul got me a smoker kit, like for smoking foods and drinks, that kind of stuff, a kitchen smoker. And the girls, so he got me the physical smoking equipment, and the girls got me a smoking starter kit with like all kinds of different wood chips and the things that you put on glasses to do the smoking, that kind of stuff. So really cool. I've been wanting one of these for like 2 years, maybe it's only 1 year, but it's been a while. I have a cocktail guide channel that I watch, and he swears by this kind of equipment, and I've really wanted one, and now I have one. I'm very, very excited. But that is still in Houston. It's coming up in a few days, so I've not had a chance to play with it yet, but really looking forward to that. Dominica got me mostly Dungeons and Dragons stuff, which is pretty cool. She also got me a big cocktail shaker thing. We don't really exchange gifts. The Dungeons and Dragons stuff is more a gift for the kids, but I'm the one who has to use it, so it kind of goes to me to open. Both girls got a lot of stuff that they liked. It was a lot of My Hero Academia this year. There was a lot of Dungeons and Dragons stuff for both girls. They got some joint things and some individual things. They got like kids starter guides to D&D. They got so Reaper is one of the big miniature companies, and they're made right here in Denton County, and so they got several Reaper miniature kits, painting kits. Luciana got some art stuff. They both got face masks. This is like a new thing, like Japanese and Chinese style face masks. No idea why they want those, but okay. Hoodies are a big thing this year, especially with Liesel. And then Obviously, the really big gift from us to them was a new Steam video game PC. We actually got an amazing deal on a Dell. We didn't build it ourselves, but it's a AMD Ryzen 7, which I really wanted to do. And we moved to a Radeon graphics card. It doesn't have any of that Intel software graphics crap that we had to deal with in the past. And this is a brand new machine, 16 gigs of RAM. Really, really fast, big desktop. We can upgrade it, and we got just this amazing deal. But we wanted to get this because the laptop so first of all, the gaming laptop that they have is over 4 years old. It's been held up really well. It's an Asus laptop. We really like it, but it's like a 6th gen Intel i7. It does have 16 gigs of RAM. It does have a decent amount of storage, and the graphics card is an NVIDIA 9 series. We've not been super happy with NVIDIA, and we've been completely unhappy with Intel. The way that they do stuff makes tons of games not work and makes everything just way more work than it should be. And the machine's just old. And we want to be able to do VR, and we have to have a new machine for that. So we got this new machine. That was the big thing from us to the girls, plus some video games for it. So I had it all set up. I've been working on that the last week or so, loaded with games, some of them new, some of them old. I got lots of things working that didn't work in the past. Jade Empire, the great art history race or whatever, some of those. And then the big present from their grandparents was an Oculus Rift S, which is the top of the line wearable rather than room scale VR system. And we've had an Oculus Go since last year when Paul got one for the family. So we know that the girls love having VR. Luciana especially uses it pretty regularly all year long. I mean, she'll go bits of using it all the time and bits of not using it very much, but it's not a thing that went to the shelf and got forgotten, even though it has very few games on it. She likes to use what little bit we had, and it's a really cool system. But so we've known that they can handle VR. We know that they like to play the games. We know that it's not something that will just get put on the shelf. So getting the VR this year, and their grandparents were able to get it on sale, and they knew we were getting the computer, so we had coordinated the whole thing to make sure everything would work. So we did, and they were beyond excited. They were pretty excited about the computer, but I think especially at their age, getting a computer is a little bit esoteric because there's computers everywhere in the house, and understanding that like it's faster, like it's tough, right? To really make it super exciting until you know what it provides for you. Now that they have VR, crazy excited. So that was a big piece of the day, was getting that all set up. So once everything died down, of course, it's, okay, Scott, you gotta set up in the living room and make this VR work. And so I put in a couple hours. There was a lot of complications. It was very stressful because things weren't working. It kept crashing. Luckily, the computer at least was all set up, or that would have taken a lot more time. But I've done nothing with the VR yet. We hadn't even opened the box. So got that open, got it all set up. Finally got it working, and the big game that Dominica had wanted to get for everybody was Beat Saber, which is one of those like dance games, except like blocks fly at you. And remember, this is in VR, so it's like real, right? These big blocks fly at you, and you've got lightsabers, and you have to cut them, but like in special dance moves. So it's it kind of looks like Tron, but it's really clean graphics and pumping music and swinging lightsabers. And it's a lot of fun, and it makes you dance around, so it gives you some exercise, very light exercise, but it gets your heart rate up, and you get into it and you forget what you're doing, and it's pretty cool. And you don't walk around, so it's pretty safe that you're not gonna like fall over or something. So easy to pick up as a first game. So that everybody lined up to play that, and that was just hours of everyone trying to get their time on Beat Saber. Pretty much everybody loves it. Once you find VR games that people like, people love VR games. So Dad, maybe you should get VR. Maybe you should try the Oculus Go and see what you think. Maybe that's what you need for a video game. So one of the other ones that Chana had wanted and Garrett had really wanted to play is Subnautica. I got that for her. She played it a little bit, but it's pretty hard to get into. Like, it takes some time to learn what you're doing. So we're hoping that one will be really cool. We don't have a ton of VR games yet. We'll probably be buying some this week. Paul, for Luciana, because she likes to draw, bought her a 3D in VR painting thing, so she can paint things in full 3D. It's Google Tilt Brush. So we'll see about that. Both girls got Steam gift cards for both gift cards from relatives and some Steam like paper, the IOU Steam stuff that they can turn in. So they've got lots of video game shopping to do yet. And I've been for all week been really diligent in GOG and Epic, getting all the free stuff they're giving away. So we've got a lot of library expansion because of that without spending any money, which has been great. It's amazing how much you can get if you just pay attention and follow a couple major platforms. They're giving away stuff either at really heavy discounts, which is normal for the sales, or completely for free just to get you to constantly be looking at their site. It's amazing. So I recommend putting in that effort. I've probably gotten 20 games from Epic over the last 6 months. So we got that all set up. They're going to be playing all night. Paul and I decided that we really had to head back tonight. So pretty early we had the car all loaded up, packed up our stuff, got in, took Mia, and did the 4-hour drive, because there's no traffic, back to Dallas. The drive, actually, on the drive up, Paul's truck died. We were on 45 heading in South Houston, and the truck just died in the middle of the highway. Really dangerous. We were lucky to get off the road. Ended up starting up again. He thought it was the alternator. Later we'll find out, fuel pump. But major truck problems, but not catastrophic. Luckily we were able to get started. We were able to drive all the way back up. So we got lucky there. Stopped at the Loves south of 20 at Carl's Jr. Picked up some, for me, Beyond Burgers. Paul got regular burgers. And then continued home, made it home in good time. We were home well before midnight, and I think, it sucks that we have to leave everybody so early and not see the kids, but the reality is the kids spend all their time with their cousins, and now they've got the VR, so every moment they're not with their cousins, they're going to be playing VR. There's not going to be any spending time with me, so this is the best time to be away, and I am so overwhelmed with work that there's no way I can be spending any extra time, and even driving up tomorrow morning would be problematic. I need to pretty much work around the clock. I had a lot of work I needed to do, and I lost a whole bunch of time because we didn't have Wi-Fi in Houston. So yesterday I wanted to work, and potentially I would have been working today. All that was lost. So that's a problem. And so I need to catch up on that. And I have the problem of needing to file with against the towing company that stole my car, and that has to be done yet this week, and it has to be done up there. And if there's anything goes wrong with that, I need some time to deal with it. So I need to get up and not lose tomorrow traveling. And really tonight, everyone's just playing games, and they're exhausted from the day, right? So people are going to bed. It was the perfect time to drive up. I'm glad that Paul was there to push for that, because it just made it make a lot more sense. And he has a lot of work to do, because we just have a lot of legal filings for just normal business stuff, and paperwork, and pricing models and things that have to be worked on, and that he and I need to work on. And so that's stuff that if we were down there, he would be losing days to, and just upping everyone's stress level. So driving back was right. We got back, felt good about getting back. It was a really good Christmas. Lots of cool stuff. I'm really looking forward to getting to try the VR myself. I've only played it for a couple minutes, and I didn't really play it. I tested it and just walked away. There's no way I was getting into that queue, but we'll have it at home that I can play. And really, I'm much more excited about all the cool games we have that are not VR for the new faster system, because Dragon Age Inquisition, being able to run it full tilt and really get the best graphics out of it, I'm really looking forward to that. That will be really cool. Let's see. I think that's pretty much the news of the day. We had lasagna for dinner, as we do at Christmas. There was that blueberry stuff. I don't know what it's called that they do in the middle of the Christmas stuff. It was delicious as always. I did really well at not overeating this year, both last night and today. I didn't have the early morning breakfast. I had a reasonable amount of the lunch blueberry thing. I had a reasonable amount of lasagna. Drove back, had the Beyond Burger tonight. I'm not saying I didn't splurge, but it was reasonable, right? Well, I did have 2 Beyond Burgers for dinner, but basically 3 meals. I had the little bit of breakfast stuff, a small lunch of lasagna, veggie lasagna, and then Beyond Burgers, but no fries or anything, and spread those out. So my last Beyond Burger was 1 o'clock in the morning, while I was probably watching The Witcher, which I am wrapping up this week because it's awesome. And that is Christmas 2019. It's hard to believe that Christmas is over. The decade is basically over. Boy, we are just heading towards the end. And hi, Dad, because this is the first time that you're subscribed to the channel. And there's Mia. I don't know what she's doing.